Just wanted to let you know what the messenger experience is about and what it is I hope that you get from this page. So my passion, my obsession, my purpose is to help you discover yours and to help messengers understand it's important to recognize when God has called you to do something, because it is all sorts of other people tied to your purpose. And so I just feel like we don't have the luxury of saying when I feel like it or when it's time or when it's ready. It's like, no, God has literally parceled out his heart and given us each a piece of his dream. And so anytime that we look around and we see a need not being met, it's someone hasn't said yes yet. So it's my desire to help us be prepared to say yes to what God has called us to do. And the beautiful thing about purpose is you don't have to create one. It's already been embedded in you. It's already been implanted in you. So if you look at a seed, you don't say, I'm going to do this to it and that to it, and hopefully, an apple tree will become an orange tree. No, everything that it needs to be, what God has purposed it to be, is already inside of it. And so the biggest thing that we can do is begin to prepare and begin to discover what's already been placed inside of us. And so a lot of what you're going to find on this page is just resources and tools and thoughts that will just jar you a little bit to recognize that there's absolutely something that God has put inside of you and he's coming for it. When the children of Israel were crying out, he came to Moses. He didn't go to the children of Israel. He came to a messenger and he said, I've heard my people's cry and it is time to bring them out. And he and Moses now began to have this back and forth. And so I just want to encourage you, if there's this thing on your heart, there's something that you just want people to know and you want them to understand, then you might just be a messenger and it's time and they're waiting for you. There's some things that they cannot become until you show up into their lives. And so I'm absolutely passionate about this. This is what I'm here to do. So just getting clear about your strengths and your talents and your gifts, because the thing is, God is not calling you to be something that he has not equipped you to be. So when you begin to take inventory, you have not seen a teacher who is a real teacher who doesn't have a passion for learning. You haven't seen a real caregiver who doesn't have a high dose of patience and mercy and compassion. And so you can just begin to look at the gifts that God has given you and begin to see that this belongs to someone. If it's a gift, it's not ours. It belongs to someone that we're called to serve. And so I just want to encourage you to recognize that your tribe is waiting for you, that we don't have the time to deal with omission here. He said that we're going to give an account. And once again, it's not always this whole notion of like ministry or being behind the pulpit on your job. Like that's God's way of saying, I want to love people through the work that you do. So it's not necessarily this big crowd or workshops or things like that you have to do. God may have called you to have a heart for foster youth. And that may just be a one-on-one conversation, or that may be equipping them to navigate life because they haven't had those parental figures in their life. And so I don't want us to get this illusion that it's about this big business or this big ministry. It's who has God put on your heart, and just this haunting to know that there's a message that he has for them through you. I'm just here to encourage you. I just want to almost just low-key haunt you and say your tribe is waiting for you. It's time. We have to wake up and do our part. Preparation is our part. God will create the opportunities for us to reach out to who we're called to reach out to. I just want to encourage you to understand that we're all here for a reason and we're all here to serve someone. And so it's imperative that we begin to get equipped and be prepared to reach who God has called us to reach. Sometimes we just need to give God our yes. And then after we give our yes, he'll begin to go to work on us about what it is we need to do and what it is we need to communicate. And so I just want to encourage you guys, just start with the yes, and you'll begin to see the resources and the tools just come into your life. I want to help you be clear about who you are, and why you are, so you can begin to reach your tribe. It's time. I appreciate you guys. I am Cam, which simply means I am calling all messengers. So if I can hop on this video, I'm saying I have been stalling from this part of my message for some time, but I just recognize that, yeah, Lord, if this is part of what I need to do to make sure that people are hearing what they need to hear, that you've given me to say, then yes, Lord, your tribe is waiting, and he's absolutely giving you everything you need to be who he's called you to be. Be encouraged, messengers. I'll talk to you soon.